many pagan rites are still part of the adige culture. This rite was performed to encourage fine weather.
Gracious God.
Gracious God.
Give wealth and prosperity to our land.
Give wealth and prosperity to our land.
Now, though, it's just theatre. Most of the people living here are now Muslims, but contrary to religious belief, they do eat pork and drink alcohol. And their women never wear the yashmak. The Adigs have experienced three dominant religions during their history: paganism, Christianity and Islam. But none of them explains why these table stones, as they're known, appeared in Adige. The area has the world's largest collection of ancient stone block buildings. Table stones are similar to stone houses, but their purpose is still largely unclear.
If I start to tell you about it, you'll be here until the morning.
There's a table stone in Shamset Bos's courtyard. She says scientists have several versions suggesting its origin. Some say they are burial structures, others call them ancient sanctuaries. And there's also the belief that they represent chronological capsules containing messages given to posterity. Shamsat sees nothing magical in this stone structure. As a matter of fact, until recently, she used its roof to let her maize dry out in the sun.
We've lived side by side with this table stone for several decades. We think the table stone and the house are a single whole. Of course, we keep it in order, but then in general, we keep our courtyard in order.
Abdullah Bersiraf sets out on a trip to the mountains to make sketches for another painting. He wants to paint a mountain called Shigosh. Translated from the Adige language, it means giving birth to the clouds. The mountain lives up to its name. A few minutes later, clouds envelop the gorge. Abdullah finishes the drawing from memory and signs it using Russian letters. The sophisticated Adige language, containing 66 sounds, was committed to paper in the mid-19th century. Arabic characters served as the letters, but the Soviet government changed the alphabet. In the 1920s, the Adige language was scripted in Latin characters, and in the 1930s, in Cyrillic. Some of the sounds required 3 characters each. That is how the written language of the Adige became the world's youngest. It was at that time that some of the words contained as many as 48 characters.
Language and script need to be in harmony. If you have to use many characters to denote one sound, then this creates a problem for any language, especially in the Adige language.
After work, Abdullah attends a rehearsal.
Hello?
The celebrated local ensemble, the Zoo, practice in the house belonging to its leader, Zamuddin Kuchev. In accordance with local etiquette, ensemble members take seats in line with their age, even during rehearsals.
Now, as the oldest man here, Abdullah takes a seat at center stage. Zaur and Erhan take seats on both sides of the elder.
Zamuddin has made every instrument the band uses. He makes musical instruments in his workshop based on old samples.
From time immemorial, Adigs drew on natural materials to make instruments, such as pumpkin and tubular plants. Look at this pumpkin.
A brief tour of the inner sanctum, Zamuddin's workshop. This is the place where the instruments are born. This one is called the shishepshin, the first violin of the band.
From front part, it looks like dagger, and from the side, it looks like boat.
The shishepshin and adigs go hand in hand throughout their lifetime. Lullabies, weddings and funerals, all are accompanied by this instrument. It takes several months to make a shishepshin. Making the strings is one of the most difficult phases of the process. They are made from very specific horsehair.
They take hair from the tail of stud horse, and it must be hybrid.
One of the ensemble's soloists, Erhan, came to Adige from Turkey, where he was born and lived with his relatives. Erhan is Adig by nationality. He came to see his motherland and decided to stay here forever.
I signed up for the ensemble almost as soon as I learned about its existence. I wanted to learn about the culture of my people by keeping in touch with it.
Erhan says that most of the adigs living abroad look forward to returning to their historical homeland. Erhan has been here now for 4 years. When he came here with the intention of entering university, he didn't know a word of Russian or Adig.
I'm an Adig, and I wanted to study here more than anywhere else. I simply wanted to take a look at my homeland.